and look at some other things and give a little outlook on EuroLeague today and on the weekend football. Yeah, so be with me and let's get started. Before we get to Champions League, we have to talk about Paris once more. If you followed the clips recently, Paris Saint-Germain, they really make bad headlines these days. They lost another match after the cup final. They have another 3-2 at Montpellier. They had the lead twice and still they managed to lose in the end. Really, really embarrassing stuff at Paris. And most remarkable, there's this one guy, Kim Pembe, his name, and he scored an own goal twice in following matches. Have you ever heard that before? He scored an own goal in the cup final that got lost recently, and now he scored another own goal against Montpellier. So really bad time for this guy. So how can this be astrologically? And I'm playing this tune here through several clips now. Rather unlikely tune about Chiron, this mishap figure in the sky. And it comes from the myths you see here, over here, of course. So Chiron, he hurt himself because of he was uncautious. He hurt himself with a poison arrow that caused him incredible pain for the rest of his life. That's the story, in very short, of the myth. So Chiron is about self-inflicted injury and self-undoing and major pain and really stuff that you don't want to have in your football life, also on the field. And what about Kim Pembe? He also was the guy. He was the guy also who, like in the penalty at Manchester in the last minute, who he had his arm in the way to cause the penalty that Rashford used, and they kicked Paris out in a spectacular way in Champions League. So he really has bad time in this business. And the only thing I can say, I can pinpoint to, and it just makes a case with the stuff that has been recently presented here. If you look at this Chiron, he is born with it on 25, 26. And the current that is here on 4 Aries, it's by antition, it falls exactly on his own Chiron. You know the mirror points, you have to do antition. I can only recommend to use it. You have a mirror here between 0, Capricorn and Cancer, and 4 Aries falls on 26 Virgo. So it's like this transit Chiron on his own Chiron. It makes perfect sense for his really bad time and bad luck he has these days. So poor man, and remarkable astrological testimony, I say. But now we go for the Champions League, and it was the Tuesday that brought about the victory from Ajax at Hotspurs, and remarkable. I said that before. I looked at this guy, the manager from Ajax, and that pointed to the fact that Saturn here is the running Uranus is nailing on this Saturn that is with the Jupiter and putting him into the spotlight. And so it happened. And the guy that scored the goal was Van den Beek, although besides, like in my eyes, it really was offside, and I don't know, the technique doesn't help about it, but shouldn't have counted that goal in my opinion. Never mind. This guy scored the goal, and on that night the sun was with Mercury, and Venus was his Saturn, and of course he is with his Venus on this Uranus. That is these on 2 and a bit in Taurus. So he was hot for some special news. It was quite a day for him. You see, this is the match chart. The Sun is here, and Venus is here, and Uranus, and it was all picking on his chart. And yes, to get this done at this point here, I in fact did give a prediction, and this happened in the commentary list here below my last clip. Somebody asked for predictions on the Champions League, even very clear. So this was for Barcelona, prediction that they would win and maybe clear-cut victory. And the second here, Ajax will not lose tonight. So I made these predictions in advance beforehand, and turned out to be true. Let's just note of this. Yeah, so next day I had Klopp and Barcelona with Messi, and it was as I thought it would be 3-0, so clear victory for Barcelona. And again we get, can you imagine, again we get to talk about Chiron, because this is the chart for Klopp, the manager from Liverpool, and Chiron is on 4, as I said. And on that night, on Wednesday, the moon was spot on here as well. So what do we have? We have moon Chiron here, picking on Klopp's own moon, and that is in sextile with Jupiter. So if it would have been only the moon, I would say it's positive, but with that Chiron, and because this is extra close, everything, I thought this is maybe the night for him to get this poison experience, this pain experience. And it turned out just like that. Here's the match chart. You see this spot on conjunction here, and looked all not too bad until minute 75 or so, but then you have this guy that obviously must be from some other planet. Here you see early picture, of course, from Messi with Suarez practicing their routines. But yeah, Messi did this incredible stuff one more time, the free kick, incredible circus artists, I would say. It's remarkable, and the major story about this, he scored goal 599, and the free kick, of course, was a special. That was a special one. Then that free kick was his 600th goal for Barcelona. Can you imagine? So a special goal. And what do we have? Do we find this in the chart somewhere? This is Messi. And there is that's giving spotlight over all this season. That's Pluto, that is on 23. Extra in opposition with his Mars, this making him like this time as the special time, and topping all records. And for that night on Wednesday we had Mercury that was on 21 Aries, and 23 and 22 for Mars. So Mercury was joining here, and it was this Mercury in the apex with that opposition. And that must have been it, I'd say. You see, this is the match chart. Mercury on 2113, lining up with his Mars and that Pluto in transit. So it's like the spot on the I, on the E, it's like the dot on the, I don't know, I can say that in English. It's like the pinpointing highlight season that he has with the 600th goal. Kind of makes sense, I'd say. Yeah, fantastic. Amazing stuff. Okay, now for tonight, there's EuroLeague, and I mentioned that before that the manager from Frankfurt, Hütter, is very similar. He's with Ten Hag from Ajax. They're only a week apart, and he also has this Saturn here with Uranus, so I'd expect them that they do a good show tonight, and they at least not lose. And but the only player that's like it's really hot from astrologically is Conte from Chelsea, because the sun is pretty close now tonight on this Venus. You set some headlines tonight, highlights. Watch out for him. And in the other match, it's Arsenal with Valencia, and there's Aubameyang, and this is one of the guys we have an AA birth chart. And this is it. And you see Jupiter is on 2040, and the transit Mars has just passed here. It's only a little bit less than a degree further, but still I'd expect him to do some stuff tonight. So scoring a goal for Arsenal, for example, would be a good thing, I guess. Yeah, this is almost it. We look to the weekend in Bundesliga. It's still not over. Bremen, Borussia Dortmund is still in a chance, but now they have to go to Bremen and play there, and I think this will be it then, and it will be game over. And I'm running out of time here. You can check these charts, and my prediction is that Borussia Dortmund will not win, because Kofeld has a very nice thing here with the new moon that is lining up with his. Yes, this shall be it, and I hope you like this stuff and recommend and ask questions, and see you later. Bye bye.